They laughed before he even stepped on the court, called him T-Rex, said his arms were too short for the league. One analyst joked he'd be guarding shadows with those limbs. That clip still floated around Twitter, stitched into memes, buried in Reddit threads. Desmond Bane never responded. Not once. But he saved every post, filed them into a mental folder marked Fuel. He wasn't loud, wasn't flashy, but what lived in him was louder than any headline. Memory. Growing up in Richmond, Texas, he was overlooked before he was even noticed. One scout described him as solid but unspectacular. Coaches passed, agents shrugged, and yet he stayed. Stayed in the gym when lights went out. Stayed in the background while the cameras chased wingspan and hype. His chest burned not from cardio, but from being counted out again and again. TCU gave him a shot. Late, but he made it count. Broke records, shot lights out. Still, draft night came, and the room stayed quiet. He watched 29 names fly off the board, pick after pick. Teams chose potential over performance, reach over readiness. Then, finally, 30th, Memphis. A city known for grit. A perfect fit. But even then, the welcome wasn't loud. No headlines, no parade. Just whispers. Decent role player. Bench shooter. He smiled. Not because it was funny, but because they still didn't see it. In his rookie season, he didn't make noise. He made buckets, defense, hustle, but no interviews. He let the box score speak. But inside, he was collecting. Every stare, every shrug, every time the opposing team switched off to him. Like he wasn't worth chasing. He took notes. And then came the night. Golden State, national TV. They switched Curry off him. Again. A message. He wasn't a threat. Not yet. But that night, something shifted. He dropped 27. Quietly, efficiently, deadly. Postgame, reporters asked Draymond about him. Draymond smirked, said, "He all right. Let's not crown him yet." The clip went viral. That was the moment. Not the points, not the stats. But the smirk. It echoed louder than the crowd. And in Desmond's chest, it detonated. He didn't need a crown. He needed space. And he was coming for it. He remembered sitting on draft night with his family, pretending not to care. But every pick felt like a slap. They talked about upside, wingspan, star power. The Warriors' smirk had lit the match, but it was what came after that turned the fire into something else, an identity. After that night, things changed, subtly at first. Coaches called fewer plays for others when Bane was hot. Teammates stopped calling him young fella. Opponents started scouting him for real, and the cameras, finally, started to linger a little longer when he stepped up to the mic. But he still wasn't satisfied. He didn't want to be noticed. He wanted to be undeniable. The regular season rolled on, and Desmond kept hitting. Pull-ups, step-backs, transition threes. He played like every game was a retort, like every point was a paragraph in a rebuttal to years of silence. The league noticed. Memphis climbed. The noise grew. And then came Los Angeles. A primetime showdown against the Lakers, national broadcast, Staples Center, bright lights, bigger egos. Bane had heard the whispers, that he was just another role player riding Ja's wave, that he was built for hustle, not for headlines. And that night, under the banners and the Hollywood flash, he responded the only way he knew how. He dropped 31. With LeBron James watching from the top of the key. And late in the fourth, after hitting his fifth three, he let a smirk cross his face, subtle, but intentional. LeBron noticed, and he didn't like it. In the post-game presser, LeBron didn't mention Bane by name, but his message was sharp. Young guys in this league talk before they've done anything, he said. Respect is earned. Desmond watched the clip on his phone, alone in the tunnel. He paused, rewound, watched again. He didn't say a word, just stared at the screen, then turned it off. The media swarmed, asked if he wanted to respond. He didn't.
Because he already had. On the court. And that silence? It was louder than any quote. But the backlash came anyway. Talk shows questioned his attitude. Former players said he was getting too confident. Online chatter twisted confidence into arrogance. He read it all. Every post, every take. And then, just like he did with the T-Rex jokes, he filed it away. Fuel. He knew the game wasn't just about stats. It was narrative, politics, timing, so he adjusted. Not his game, but his presence. Less talk, more weight, more screens, more rebounds, more fourth-quarter shots. He wasn't chasing stardom. He was building something heavier, something that could stand the storms. That night after the Lakers game, Desmond didn't go out with a team. He drove alone. No music, just the streetlights. His mind replayed each second, each shot, net snap, the look in LeBron's eyes, not anger but recognition. For a brief second, it wasn't.
By the time the playoffs arrived, Desmond Bane wasn't just a name anymore. He was a problem. Defenses keyed in. Matchups shifted. He saw traps, blitzes, double teams. Not because he was flashy, but because he was efficient, reliable, inevitable. But with respect came something heavier. Expectation. Memphis wasn't under the radar anymore. And in the locker room, all eyes slowly shifted. Ja was still the franchise, but when games got tight, when moments cracked open, they looked to Bane. And for the first time, he hesitated. Not outwardly, but in the spaces between plays, in the quiet, in the mirror after the game. Pressure didn't scream. It whispered, "Don't mess this up. They need you. You asked for this." The weight wasn't physical. It was something deeper, something no ice bath could fix. Then came the back tightness, nagging, lingering. He played through it, said the right things, but his shot dipped, his lift shrank. And with every missed three, every defensive lapse, the whispers returned, this time from outside. Is he worn out? Was he ever built for this? He heard it all, but worse, he believed it, just for a second. Until one night, alone in the practice facility, something snapped. He shot until 2 a.m., not to prove anyone wrong, but to remember. Remember who he was before the league noticed, before the lights, the pressers, the noise. Just a kid with short arms and a long memory. And in that quiet, he didn't hear doubt. He heard rhythm, footwork, breath, swish. He wasn't chasing a crown. He was grounding himself, again. The next game, he didn't explode. No viral moment, no chest pound. But in the fourth, tie game, 38-0 on the clock, he moved without the ball, curled around a screen, caught it in rhythm, splash, timeout. No flex, no grin, just a breath. Controlled. Because this wasn't about redemption. It was about return. The league thought they'd figured him out, but you can't box out someone who doesn't play for applause. You can only watch as he rewrites the moment, one quiet bucket at a time. After that shot, the noise came back, but this time it was different. Analysts called it a clutch gene. Teammates clapped harder, coaches nodded longer, social media flipped. The same voices that questioned his ceiling now praised his poise. But Desmond didn't feel triumphant. He felt tested. Every game after that wasn't a performance, it was a referendum. One bad half and the doubt crept in again. One turnover and the old narratives stirred. He found himself checking his name on Twitter after games, something he promised he'd never do. He started second-guessing shots he once took without hesitation. Wondered if he should smile more, celebrate more, fit the image. The league didn't just
The final series wasn't supposed to feature Memphis. The experts had picked them to fall. Injuries, inexperience, media distractions. They had every excuse to fold. But they didn't. They clawed. Every round, Desmond got quieter, more locked in, his movements sharpened, his focus narrowed. While others chased headlines, he chased details, missed box-outs, defensive rotations, shot selection. He wasn't playing to prove anything anymore. He was playing to finish. In Game 2, with Memphis down 7 in the fourth, he passed up a contested three to swing the ball to a rookie in the corner, who buried it. The bench erupted, but Bane just nodded. One play, one brick in a wall he was building piece by piece. Then came Game 5. With the series tied 2-2 and tension thick as fog, the team hotel felt like a church, quiet and heavy. Everyone felt it. Desmond did too, but differently. This wasn't fear. It was readiness. In the locker room, the coach asked who wanted the last shot if the game was tied. Some looked at Ja, some looked down. Desmond looked up. "I'll take it," he said, calm, clear. No one objected. By then, the team didn't follow him because he was loud. They followed him because he never flinched. The game came down to the final possession. Tie score, 12 seconds, timeout. The arena roared, but in the Memphis huddle, it was quiet. Desmond looked his teammates in the eyes, not to fire them up, but to ground them. "We've been here," he said. "This ain't new." The play was simple. A decoy screen, a slip, a pass. He caught it just inside the arc. Pump fake. Defender flew. One dribble. Pull up. Net. No scream, no strut. Just a fist to the chest, then a finger to the sky. Not for attention. For memory. Because for every night he stayed late. Every joke they made. Every moment he felt invisible. He was now undeniable. And yet he didn't chase the camera after the buzzer. He walked over to the rookie he'd passed to in Game 2. Hugged him. Whispered something. Later, they'd ask what he said. Desmond just smiled. "Doesn't matter," he replied. He knew. That shot didn't just win the game. It anchored something deeper. In the tunnel after the game, Desmond sat by himself. No phone, no interviews yet. Just sweat cooling on his arms, heartbeat slowly steadying. A trainer walked by and gave him a nod. He nodded back. No words exchanged. None needed. What Desmond felt wasn't adrenaline. It was alignment. Like something inside had clicked into place. He thought of his college days, the scouts that skipped his games, the draft night's silence, the analyst who said he was too old for upside. He didn't feel anger anymore. Just clarity. He had become the very thing they overlooked,